Welcome back to the online summit series, Yoga Beyond Exercise, conversations to heal and lead us into the new paradigm of peace, harmony, and prosperity. Today's guest is Raffaella Russignaga. Raffaella, she is a game changer, here to create the new grid for the new game, where each of us stand in our own true knowing, inspired by our own unique blueprint. She is the founder of Kusala Consulting, a platform for merging business and spirituality, harmonizing the masculine and the feminine, and upgrading the human being. This is how I see the future right now. I see it as this transparent, creative space where there is abundance and flow, which is kind of an accumulation of everything that we've been talking about so far on this summit. I hope you're inspired by this talk as much as I was. Enjoy.
Crypto sort of gave a contrast. Like, if that is possible, then why are we still, allowing us to be at the mercy of these bullies? So but without crypto, everyone would have just said, oh, well, this is the way it is. We can't see an alternative. We might as well just, there's a word, tolerate this. When is it going to happen? Is it even going to happen in our lifetime? What needs to happen? So now with blockchain coming out and where you can see freedom, where you can see liberty, where you can see that there are other ways and that are beneficial, like the whole vibration of blockchain, it just screams out freedom and liberty and sovereignty, and all of a sudden it reflects. It finally shows you where value can be perceived, value within us. Even with tokenization. So NFTs, like there's just so much that you can do with it and create an exchange without needing banks and the monopoly and the cabal to be involved in any of it. We can do it all by ourselves, peer to peer, by using the technology that's already here. So if blockchain hadn't arisen and hadn't become a reflection of our level of consciousness, and kudos to everyone that took the time to wake the fuck up, it wouldn't have been a reflection. It wouldn't have manifested in our lifetime. You see, so that is the gift that everyone that took the time and the patience to wake up. But the actual waking up is to see that we've all been living under a big, like, everyone's a sheep. Like, you go outside now, everyone's wearing a mask, and you'll ask them, why are you wearing it? And they say, well, I've been told to wear it and I'll just wear it. But there's such a massive big agenda, like to the very, very core of it, that our health, there's health pods out there and people are dying unnecessarily. And everyone is just it's actually very, very sad. I went through a very, very sad period of seeing all this. And to me, blockchain isn't about money. Blockchain is literally about showing everyone that you've all been asleep. Mm-hmm. You've all been asleep, and now here's the time. And the ironic thing is, it's not taking a long time, but I would have thought it would have been a really, really big shaking, waking up call. Like, oh my God, this thing exists and we're not using it. Wait, now we can tell them all to fuck off. Now we can start using this. Let's all start using this. Let's learn how to use this and get off the banks. Once you get off the grid of the banks and we can start doing things and exchanging value, they don't have a leg to stand on.
That's how I see it. Yeah, if we are able to live outside of that paradigm,
you're not playing the game anymore. When you're not playing the game anymore, the only people that'll be playing the game are the ones that created it, and they need people they need the pawns. But if the pawns are now playing in their own little game, where freedom exists, then it falls apart. Like, it literally is the less attention, and this is where consciousness comes in, the less attention you give to it, it ceases to exist. You know that. Like, the less attention you give to any thought, it just shrivels out. Like, not in your reality anymore. So that's exactly what it is. And you can't convince anyone to come to blockchain with the three-dimensional structure of, lack of worthiness, lack of abundance, lack of anything. If you come with that baggage, blockchain will just rattle you, because it'll just be another platform where you can reflect your losing, reflect how unworthy you are, reflect of how, all of your thoughts. So you need to come to blockchain with the feeling of, what can I create today? You need to come as a creator. You can't come as the victim, because there's no space for victims. It's a tool, it's a technology where it's your wand where you create. So with coming with the old, it'll just rattle you even more. Like, you won't be able to get your head around it. You won't be able to utilize it. You won't be able to see all the potential. You won't be able to see the infinity in it. So that's why I've always spoken about the level of consciousness of blockchain. You've got to be at its level in order to sync with it. If you're not at its level, you just won't see. You're like, what is this all about? I still can't, okay, I got an exchange, I got my Bitcoin, now what do I do? Like, that's not blockchain, that's not crypto, just buying Bitcoin. Like, there's so much more that you can do and create your passive income, your prosperity, your, decentralized. Everything's decentralized. You don't need anyone's permission to do anything. Like, it is. And the fact that it's trustless, that's what blockchain, that's why it works. It's because now we don't need to trust a centralized authority. So, but there are so many people, Julie, that enjoy being told what to do. They enjoy wearing the mask. They enjoy being such a good person, because I'm listening to them, because I'm doing what it's told. So that's why it's, there's such a divide now between the 3D and the 5D. And those people that are involved and are fluent in crypto and blockchain and in potential, they wake up in the morning with the attitude and the frequency of, what can we create today? Whereas the old wakes up in the morning saying, everything needs to stay the same. So there's a massive big divide, and that's where the fabric of the universe is literally, shifting the 5D world and the 3D world. And it's become evident. It's become really, really evident. So yeah, where do you want to start?
Oh, gosh. Well, welcome, Raffaella, to the summit that I've titled Yoga Beyond Exercise, Tools and Ancient Practices to Heal and Lead Us into the New World of Peace, Harmony, and Prosperity. So you can see how and why I would want you to come on and talk to us about this amazing technology that we have already created, that is here for us now to live with and in. And yes, it has a learning curve and you have to learn it. It's something new, but it's exciting. And like you used it's about trust, and it's about creating, and it's not about the old paradigm of limiting beliefs. So if you have that construct, that's not a problem. It just means that you need to address it, and that's great. Okay, address it and then move forward. But one of the things, so I know Raffaella, we had a conversation when we were on the beautiful island of Malta, and I asked Raf about cryptocurrency, and you launched into like 40 minutes of bliss. I finally understood from a heart perspective what it looks like outside of what I'll call here the old paradigm, or the mainstream, the government controlled banks, or the mafia controlled banks.
Yeah, the central authority, we refer
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. So because money is our collective, we trade via money or
The money is more of a collective agreement where everyone just it's an assumption because there's never been an alternative. All right. So money has been the bait. Money's been the bait that allows this routine, this monotonous um, lifestyle to keep spinning. Money is the what makes the world go around. I think someone even wrote a song like that. That's what makes it still spin around this narrative of very limiting and non-free. One doesn't realize how not free they are until they see an alternative, until they see something different. And this is what blockchain has brought the alternative. Blockchain is basically the alternative to everything that's contrary. So the way we've all been living is in lack, in unworthiness, and in lack of freedom, very authority kind of thing, that we're always depending on someone else to do, you know, it's always agonizing to go to the bank, always agonizing to get a loan, always agonizing to see how am I going to get to the next day. If there's people working, you know, paycheck to paycheck, there's always this restriction. And hence, the main fundamentals like money, you can't even get healthcare if you don't have money. And if you don't have money, then you don't have the status. And if you don't have the status, then you're not in any kind of social. So money is literally being the bait. Okay. So, and I've been talking about this for years. Like I used to debate with my parents when I was younger. I used to debate with my peers, with my teachers, with anyone that would just take the time. And all I got was, you know what, very much you're an optimistic, you are this, you are that, but you've got to like literally face it that there's no other way. So unless you bring me another way, I'm not going to even spend the time to think about this, to envision it, because it's a waste of time. I've got to take my conscious awareness and find a way to make it to the end of the month. I got to find a way to make a living. I got to find a way. I got to find a way, and I find a way. And every single way is always the root of there's no peace, there's always struggle, there's always tractoring through, there is always sacrifice involved, there's always I can't have a family if I've got a career, and I can't have children if I've got this. There's always some sort of lack. And the only lack that is evident, and this is the root of it all that I'd like to say at the beginning, that the only lack that really exists is your lack of conscious awareness, where you place your focus. And the old system, I'm going to call it the old system because I'm already there, has hijacked everyone's conscious, focused awareness. And it's been completely focused, the focus has been hijacked to such a degree that you crave to have time just for yourself. And when you have time for yourself, you can sort of fill yourself up. And that is the actual pure lack. There is no lack of money, there is no lack of love. You are love itself. So what is really lacking is your ability to take back your focus, take back your conscious awareness to who you really are. And then you'd see this has all been a hoax. This has all been a lie. This has all been a deceiving. We've been deceived to the very core. And because of the way we are able, as creators, we can download anything and then play it out. And what they have done for us is they've downloaded the lack program, and we've been playing it out. You see, so now that blockchain has come in, and we've all started to see, wait, we can use blockchain, smart contracts. We can make deals with ourselves, and we can just transfer alternative value, prosperity, without needing a bank. I don't need a lawyer. I don't need a surveyor when I sell my house. I can make agreements with you, and then it's just like it blows your mind and say, hang on. So what? Then you can start expanding. Say, I don't need a bank. I don't need an authority, a central authority. We're all connected already through these nodes, these computers, these miners that create. And now the path has been constructed for us. So now you do have the choice. Come back to yourself and take all your attention away. In fact, I've taken all my attention away from the 3D. I don't socialize on Facebook or social media. What do I do with my time is within me. So then you sort of, and then you start to grow and become familiar with the multiverse. There's just so much happening, and not just this play, what I used to call the play world, where someone else has made up the rules and I just gotta, I'm the 10th monkey, that because they believed it, I got to believe it now. Who comes after me needs to believe it. No, this is the creative power that comes in. I can think for myself. I've complete connection with who I really am. And now there's no more fear, in the sense that if you're not hanging out with the fearful bunch, you're not feeling fear. And if you're not feeling fear, you're feeling creative. And if you're feeling creative, you're going to create. And now, because of blockchain, we have the tools. Actually, the tools appeared in the manifested world because a bunch of us on this planet took the time to wake up, and hence blockchain is a reflection of the waking up process. It's a bit like what came first, the egg or the chicken. Did blockchain arrive so we can wake up? No, blockchain arrived because we woke up. You see, so there was someone, because they woke up, saw that there was this alternative, and this technology was created through the waking up process, because they saw the contrast that, wait, this is feeling too restrictive, we want freedom. This is feeling too limited, we want something that can, because blockchain isn't just a package and it says, okay, here, use it. No, it's ever expanding every single day. Marie and I spend hours, that's what we do with our time, in just finding out what are they using blockchain for now? What are they using blockchain for now? What has been created? Another token, another coin, another technology on top of it, using the Ethereum blockchain. So that's the nice thing about Ethereum, for example. The blockchain of Ethereum houses so many other types of coins and tokens on it, using that blockchain in order to create smart contracts and to create other tools and avenues and constructive things for the new world. So we are the early beginners. Whoever is now invested in, who has a portfolio of different coins, and that they are just at the beginning, like when Bitcoin just came out, like I think I remember speaking to someone that bought it at 81 cents. Today, Bitcoin is just over $10,000. I mean, you bought it at 81 cents and today it's worth 10,000. Do you see? And this is where, being an early beginner, it's not going to be like the internet. It's going to be 100,000 times bigger than that. It's going to revolutionize the way we be. Mm-hmm. It's not just going to be like the internet and the telephone. Yes, it transformed our lives, but it not to such a degree of complete shift. Because what does blockchain imply? It implies that the old must crumble, and they're not going to crumble without a fight. They are going to go out there and tell you how dangerous investing in Bitcoin is. They're going to troll each and every single one of us, because it needs to be tested. Can you really see the vision of the future? Can you really see the vision of a sovereign being? Can you really feel what it feels like to see through this deceiving lie that has been told to us our whole entire existence as a human race? From the very, very beginning of time, they've been at it. This is not something that's just happened recently. It's now being seen, and that's why there's so many people getting trolled and muted and cancelled on. So many people are being dropped out of, like, they're taking off their information of Twitter, Facebook, and I've heard so many of those, and even friends of mine that that have been speaking, and they've been deleted, they've been muted. And that's one thing that I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to sit out on a platform and scream from the top of my lungs, "Way, you thought." Just sit or by, keep doing what you're doing, envisioning the future, and whoever comes by, they will be ready. And that's why we launched the course today. Like, I'm not even going to market it, because those that are in, that's how the universe works. Those that are in alignment with that frequency will find it. The old way of marketing is a deceiving thing, that you've got to sit up at the top of the mountain and scream from the top of your lungs and then convince them that they need this thing. I'm not going to do that. And none of us need to do that, because frequency is louder than any voice from the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. So that's where we need to start to tap in. We are telepathic. We don't need to yell and shout and tell everyone how wrong they are. It's just by, and that frequency can reach so many more people if we just sit and expand that. And that's the work. That's the work. That's exactly what blockchain is doing. No one's marketing it. No one's doing, it's just being, a lot of people online knocking on our doors. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Like, and we've never ever marketed. So just like, you know, you and I sitting, who knows, now we're going to release this sharing. Mm-hmm. And it's infused with what the frequency of you and I and the information that's there, that is really important, but that you now can see the bigger vision of what blockchain and cryptocurrency are all about. Cryptocurrency, blockchain isn't only housing alternative currency, a form of exchange. It is housing the possibilities for us to do things in completely different ways, from contracts, from investments, from exchange. When we exchange things, we're not going to just have one form of money. We're going to have 6,000 ways of forms of exchanging energy, and they're all going to be on the platform of this technology, which you cannot see, which is a reflection of who we really are. You can't see who we really are. So this is the important thing, that blockchain until now is not been, if you cannot get excited by it, you have not fully understood the full potential of it.
So could you go over a little bit what blockchain is for those people?
Well, yeah, the actual name of blockchain is because of the structure of the technology. So as a technological aspect, in fact, it's in the first lesson of our course. We've even got a little video to sort of reflect it as an image, is that every single transaction that is made, so say you and I, we make a deal, we exchange bananas for apples, and so a transaction is made. So this transaction that's been made on the blockchain is reflected, let's say, as a little white box, and then this little white box, this transaction, gets placed on a block which has a limited amount of spaces, digital spaces. So this block would go in it, and as transactions are made, it would fill up this block. Then this block would be connected to a chain, which means other blocks have been connected. And the way that they get connected is by using this technology called hashes. And independent of how much information is in that block, the hash is always the same size. So they link together. And by linking together is basically every single computer that's part of this technology that we call nodes have to agree that the information is the same here, 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 here. So there's an agreement, there is a checking from these thousands of computers that check that that agreement is the same here, 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 and it gets connected. So at any time, if you choose, no, I'm going to change the agreement, then it wouldn't be able to be accepted. They would deny it, because then it would need to go into a new block, because the information is being added and not deleted. So it is a bit like what I call a reflection of the imitation of their Akashic records. It's just information being updated, and nothing is deleted. So there's simplicity and transparency. There's no room for manipulation anymore. You see, so the blockchain comes from that. It's a very, very simple system, I mean, I am simplifying it very much, but technologically speaking, they've done an amazing, magical job about it, is that it's data being placed on a block and the block being connected to a chain, and that's been verified by all of us. And I mean that, so you can see the connection on a technological level. So that's why it was called the blockchain, simply put like that. And it is a foundation. It is a fundamental foundation that allows everything to exist on top of it. It is basically reflecting the foundation of who we are. Like I always like to see the similarity, like who we are as consciousness, all that is, and everything, all creations are being built on top of that. So we're finally getting to see what that looks like, feel into it.
It resonates with me because I didn't have a construct around that before, other than this one model, which, you know, always felt kind of heavy and desperate. Now it
Very.
feels expanding and creative. What is your advice to somebody who wants to understand it and create in that space?
Well, being early adopters obviously brought a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Being an early adopter to new technology is that we had to figure everything out on our own, and yes, we because we started very, very early. Marie's even connected to founders and creators of certain technology directly, because you know, at the beginning they obviously had the time because they weren't overwhelmed with requests left, right, and center, and they were willing to share and connect with people to share their vision for the technology and so on. So that was one of the advantages, that was easier to connect with them and learn as they were learning and utilizing it. So the disadvantages is we invested a lot of time and trial and error. And I must say that most of the errors weren't really errors, because it ended up serving us so much more. So what we've been able to do now is look back and see everything. What we started also giving attention to things that really didn't need too much attention. So we also realized where we could have spent more time investing in research on one thing instead of another. But at the end of the day now, we've sort of come and we can see a clearer picture. So Marie always asks herself, if I were my own student, if I would come to me now, you know, what would I say to myself? Where, like, you know, her version in the future, what would she say to her version in the past? Listen, don't spend too much time there, you won't need it. So basically that's exactly how we've structured the course. Like, what do I really, what is the essential information that I need? Because we don't even dive into the nitty-gritty of what blockchain and how it works, just like electricity. I mean, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know enough to use it, you know. And the internet, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I know enough how to use it. So that's exactly what we've done in the course. Like, we've explained just enough what about blockchain and cryptocurrency for you to actually start to use it. So yes, I would recommend doing a course with someone you honestly trust, because again, because it's at the beginning, there are so many coins, there are so many tokens that are not going to make it to the next level, because they are not at the frequency of, they still allow you to feel into the lack of things. So maybe this time next year, you're going to see at least half of the coins disappear, and go down to zero, because they cannot make it to the next level. So I would recommend find someone you really trust, that knows the basis, that uses it, that's fluent, that's confident, that's eager to use blockchain and to teach you exactly the ins and outs of it. I'm not saying that my course is the best course. My course that we've created is the course that we've taken and the information that we've needed. And so now by working together, where there's things I can do that Marie's time is more productive in the research area. So every day she's updating, where I'm maintaining and keeping track of the situation. So there's this, there's a lot of work, but also we've taken upon ourselves, we've got 7 systems running at the moment. Whereas I don't suggest that an individual person take on so much of that work, but because we've wanted to sort of explore all perspectives of what we can do with the blockchain. So if someone comes in and says, look, I'm not interested in investing, I just want this, so we can assist. Another one says, look, I want more decentralized finance, give me ways to make passive income, what can I do there? And another one comes and says, look, I want to know more about smart contracts, I want to know more about business plan. So we've explored to a higher perspective in order to be able to answer these questions and to be as confident. So our first priority is confidence. How do we convey confidence to beginners?
Mm-hmm.
Because that was something that we had to cultivate, because we weren't sure what we were doing when we were doing it, because you're literally, going in blind. How does this work? Why does this work? What does that connect to? So I think a beginner's course, and especially for what we're offering, 4 weeks. In fact, the only course that we accept euros is the beginner's course, because they haven't opened up the exchange. But the second and the third course that we offer for those that really want to go in and create their own portfolio, we're only exchanging now in cryptocurrency. Like for us, as soon as money is out of the equation, the better, because it's so much easier, and it also gives them a way to practice that. So yes, I would recommend a course with someone you trust. So I would recommend doing a bit of research, have a look at our course, have an interview with us, or before we, someone's not sure, we're welcome to do a 20-minute chat with them. They can connect, can feel into us, do they like us, not they like us, or if we're meant to be. And I would do a course. But if someone feels the enthusiasm of exploring things on their own, I mean, there's so much information out there that they could figure it out if they've got the time and the willingness to do the work. They wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to do an hour of crypto research. And for example, Marie enjoys it. She takes on a lot more than what the 24 hours that we have, but she makes it work. So it just depends on who you are. We offer 3 packages. The first one is the silver package, which is now online, and the beginners can take it. But the reason why we carry on doing one-on-one, because it becomes very intimate. The blockchain is a bit like a mass. Try and imagine the most biggest store, shopping mall sort of thing, and everyone is very like, I've got my style, like I'll buy this and I'll buy that and I'll wear this and I'll wear that. But so imagine there's like 1,600 coins out there, all with a frequency of a technology that they can offer. So when you're creating your portfolio, you're going to feel into it. So blockchain is like that. Like, what am I going to choose? I can't exactly do a online course, and people are going to have questions, you see. So, and also because everyone comes to us with like, this is exactly how much money I've got. So if you've got $100, you've got $1,000, you've got this paper money. Okay, let's call this fiat paper money. What are you going to do with it? Because it's literally becoming less and less and less, because they're just printing money, printing. A central authority has the ability to deflate the value of money. Okay. Whereas with Bitcoin, because there's only a limit amount of, I think there's only just 21 million Bitcoin that can be mined, and that's it. It's inserted in the program. There's no more. So obviously it is the value of it, it cannot be deflated. Mm-hmm. Where money, you might as well spend your money well now, because this time next year it's going to be worth your hamburger that could now cost $1.99 is going to cost you $25.49 next year at the rate that these people are printing money. So what can you do with your money now? So I would invest in myself right now and say, educate myself right now. So the course right now costs 400, for example, 400 euros. But next year, it'll probably cost a lot more because the value of the dollar would have gone down. Okay. So that's the first thing I would do, is invest, use up this money for what? For something in the future. And that's what scares people stuck, that are not awake, that are stuck in the 3D. That's insecure for me. That's uncertainty. I'm going to stick with what I know. And that's why they don't move. But we've been like, I would rather, look into the future with excitement and see, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to invest myself to put all my conscious awareness into the future, than sit here with what I know and just hold on for my, for my life, because then you're literally depending on the central authority. So you've got to decide where you're going to go. Are you going to go off 5D? You're going to stay in 3D. And that's the decision. If you're going to go off in 5D, then invest in yourself. Find someone you trust, look into this, because blockchain is literally, let me put it to you this way, Julie. Blockchain will give you the ability to look into the future, to see the alternative. If you have difficulty seeing an alternative to what is, blockchain will give you that opportunity. It will give you so many opportunities of how things can be different if you need a little bit of a push. The more you investigate what blockchain is, it will give you, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. And just by going through the very first module of our course, because there's 4 modules, the very first one, if you are not excited about the potential of how it could transform by the very first module, then, I mean, if that doesn't excite you, just like in the health industry, in how to do businesses, how to interact, and how the world can look like, the energy, how we can actually share our data. So you've bought data on your computer, I've bought data on, so Dropbox and things like that would all disappear, because we will be all as one. You'll be renting out your data, I'll be selling out my data. So you can just start to see from a completely different perspective of how things can actually happen. If I buy a house from you, we don't need the surveyors, we don't need the lawyers, because all the information of your home is on the blockchain. It's already there. So and then you get the payment within 3 seconds. It's just, time will have another perspective. Trust will have another perspective, because I don't need to trust you to buy your house, because it's trustless. The information, how it got onto the blockchain, was approved by all of these nodes, you see, at the very, very first transaction. So we won't be looking out at each other. We'll be with our hearts open, because we don't have anything to doubt. There's no need to put our focus into doubt, into fear, because now it's been taken care of. You see, we don't have a reason to hate each other.
Yeah,
there's no lack in it. Anything on blockchain can only grow. It's like the nourishment of the soil, that finally, when you put a seed in it, it will grow. And those that don't grow are bullshit, to put it mildly. They weren't meant to be there. They're part of another of the old. So those that will flourish and that will grow are the seeds that have a vision for a future, that people that are awake, that can see it. So yeah, I would start with an online course, and I would start with mine, because the one that we've put together, I say mine because it's Marie and I are sort of like all amalgamated in one. Ours and mine are like the same word to me. So the way that she structured it, and the information that we give out, and I do most of the talking, as you would imagine. So I also put in some of the videos about the level of consciousness. So I also speak about your emotions of lack and your emotions of unworthiness and things like that. So it's not all about what blockchain is, blah, 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 technical stuff. That there's a lot of the two worlds that come together in order for you to see the vision. It's important that you see the vision before you get involved in blockchain.
And that's exactly why I wanted you to talk today, because for what I noticed during the pandemic, plandemic, scamdemic, was that people that I thought were awake were so ready to just put the mask on and not ask any questions. And here there's like science and information coming from like doctors and people, like so many people, but people weren't ready to listen. They weren't ready to let go of this old system. But I think with education and knowledge comes power. And so, for instance, this conversation that we're having, I'm excited. I'm fully going to do your course. Absolutely 100%, because I know you and Marie, and I love you guys, and I trust you guys. So for those listening that don't know, Raffaella and her partner, Marie, who own Kusala Counseling, Consulting.
Yes, Kusala Consulting, that's right. We started off as consultants for traders, because Marie's been in the trading industry for over 10 years. She used to trade stocks and futures and currencies and things like that. But the volatility was always so boring, you know, from the old. So when cryptocurrency did come up, she wasn't taken on the very first round of Bitcoin, but by the third round, I think, or the second, I'm not sure, she said, look, I've been procrastinating. In fact, she shares this in the introductory video of the online course, where she shares why and how she got involved in crypto. So yeah, that's where the history came from, why we were called Kusala Consulting, because to bring the different perspective to the traders, because we had seen that the market was actually designed for 80%, if not more, of traders to lose. You know, if 40% of traders would lose and 60 would win, the stock market would literally crash. So I had seen, you know, that's where I had started. I said, oh my goodness, you know, if traders would start to win, if their frequency of abundance would shift, if we could allow them to see the bigger, you know, the stock market would crash, and then we'd be forced to create something new. And hold and behold, I didn't need to go through that. I didn't need to wake up traders. The blockchain arrived and saved the day, sort of thing. So that's when I said, oh, I'm not gonna consult one-on-one on traders anymore. This is a lot more exciting. This is so much more enthusiastic. This is why I'm here. I finally saw the purpose, where we didn't have to go through waking them up. In fact, waking up is less etherical, and you know, those waking up is just literally seeing what was the lie. And now it's become more and more evident. What shocks me, that there are people that still don't see it. Like they still don't see it. So I said, well, that just means we're gonna wait around a little bit longer. But in the meantime, let's take that vision of what can be and highlight it wherever you go. Bring that frequency in the present moment to everyone. This is what can be. This is what can be. This is what can be. It depends on us. Because this is one thing that I said in a last episode, was blockchain isn't here to make your lackful mentality go away. It's not here to cure lack. Okay, if you come into blockchain with lack, it's going to rattle you. Okay, so it's not here so you can make a lot of money so then you don't feel lack anymore. It's not about that anymore. It's not about that at all. The vibration of lack, the illusion of lack, the perspective of lack is a lie. And until you don't see the lie, you won't be able to see the vision of blockchain. So for those, this is a very important factor. If for those that want to learn about blockchain so they can get rich, so they don't have to feel lackful anymore, don't come. You've got to come naked as you are, because the moment you see the illusion of lack, the deception of lack, you then realize who you really are. So that it's not you've been installed, let's say, like a program of lack. The moment you uninstall it, you don't have to install abundance. You are always abundant. You are all that is. So you will always feel like nothing's ever missing. You feel like the cup overfloweth. And so now you feel all that is, you feel all is one. Now what am I going to create? Because that is the emotion of the creator. The creator, he gets like all excited about what can I create today, when you don't have anything stressing you, worrying you, or contaminated by false lies and deceptions. So those people that still feel I've got to do another course, I've got to do another this, I've got to do another that. Well, it just depends. Like, as I said, you don't need to do a course. You can do it like we did. We just started asking 150 questions. Mm-hmm. Marie wrote down all the questions. And with every question, what does it do? It sort of directs you into this direction, and then the next question directs you. So you're not looking for the answers of the question, you're looking for the direction. Mm-hmm. So when you have a question, so what can blockchain do? So if you're pulled to do the course and say, okay, I want to get this out of the way, I want to start now, time is of the essence. And I mean, it's true and not. There's a potential good bull run going to happen very, very soon. But that's the thing about the market and the volatility about that, because there's only early adopters, then when there will be the bull run, that's when people are going to start buying, when the price is already high. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then at some point there's going to be the cycle, just like the cycles of the season, the cycles of frequency. Everything's going to go up and everything's going to go down. And when things go down, that's when Marie and I get excited, because now the price has dropped, we buy more, whereas everyone else sells. Why? Because they're gripped by the lack of fear. But that's exactly how it is with the cycles. You buy when it's low and you sell when it's high. So there's a different perspective, there's a different mentality, there's a different feeling that you need to come through with it. So that is the thing. Blockchain is not going to make your lackful beliefs go away. It's not going to make your lackful, fearful fears go away. No, they won't. They'll emphasize it. You can still lose using the blockchain if that's the frequency you're going to come. But if you come with the frequency where I've woken up, I see the illusion, I want to create, this is for creators.
I love that. That's what makes me excited, because that's what we are. I think you said it, the creator wants to create, and that's at the core of all of us, whether you're awake to it or not, you want to create. And that's why people, I think, feel so, dense and contracted when they're maybe working for somebody doing a job that they don't love, because they're not creating in their truest capacity, their highest frequency. And they just want to do that. And when we're all doing that, we're all winners, because we're in this game.
Exactly. Together. So the more prosperity that's on the blockchain created by all of us, there's the tokenization. There are painters there's an artist that's tokenized herself. Okay. You can tokenize your farm. You can tokenize your home. You can tokenize your paintings. You can tokenize your music. You tokenize it. What does it mean? There's a representation of, like, I give an example on the course. You can tokenize, let's say you have a farm. A farmer has a farm and it's worth $1 million, but he doesn't need $1 million. He only needs $100. He only needs $1,000. What's he going to do? He tokenizes it. So each token represents a small amount, and he calls it cow token. And now he can put that on the blockchain, and now it can grow in value depending on the demand. So now his farm can go from 1 million to 3 million, depending on the demand. So we start to see visually, physically, the value that was always there, but this old system never gave us the opportunity to agree that this is value.
So where does this demand, for instance, for the guy's farm, where does the demand come? For his goods? Like for his eggs and his milk and his...
You want to invest, it's like investing in the stock market. So I'm going to invest, but not everything's been allowed to be put on the stock market. You
Oh,
see? So now with tokenization, everything is given value in everything. So I know the guy, or someone tells me, oh, that farmer there, I'm going to invest in him because now he's just given me an opportunity. Thanks to him tokenizing his farm, I now have an opportunity. I'm going to invest in that, and I'm going to keep that asset, that token. I've bought one token, I've bought 2 tokens worth of this, worth of that. And now as it grows, now he becomes more, I become more, and we all get to share it, you see?
mm-hmm.
So it is a bit of extending and, you know, stretching your perspective. How, and that's the only question that people start, how is that possible? How is that possible? Because the mind only wants to know how, but you've got to feel into the potential of it. If every single person of us, now blockchain gives us the opportunity to tokenize, we're starting to see value where it was always there. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about someone sitting on an old box and feeling really, really lackful. And someone says to them, open up the box. They find that they've been sitting on gold all their life and they didn't realize, they didn't bother looking there. That's exactly how it's going to feel, that, oh my God, I can tokenize this. I can tokenize that. Oh, it's been sitting here for so long. Do you see what I mean?
Do.
So
Feel it.
it's exactly that all of a sudden because of the deception, and I go back here, because of the deception, we were distracted so much that we didn't see. We were distracted so much that we didn't see. Why are we distracted? 8 hours, you got to go to work. Then you've got to figure out, you got to stand in line 3 hours to get your passport. Then you've got to stand in line 4 hours to go and ask for a loan. Then they've hijacked all of our attention. So you've never really been able to feel in and be bothered to say, hey, wait a minute. And what about this? What about this? What about this? So because there's so many rules and regulations from a central authority, where they've been using this money thing, if you're without money, you can't do this, without money, you're nobody, and so on and so on. So now we've got a whole bunch of lawyers, which would, with blockchain, would go away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we've got so many more lawyers that now they've got to realize they're creators. What are they going to do with their time? Then with the bankers, they're going to go away. The big corporations like Google and Facebook, they're all going to disappear. The internet service providers, we don't need them anymore. You see, with blockchain, everything of the old needs to crumble. Oh my God, everything needs to crumble. So that's the scary part for those that are not awake. It's like they always say, I prefer what I know and makes me feel nice and cozy and queasy here. And everything's that's ready to be created is in the unknown. So how are you going to be comfortable with the unknown? So this is the dilemma where we're at now, Julie. What do we do? Do we go into the unknown, or do we sit with what the known and just keep on repeating?
As somebody who is quite comfortable in the unknown, I say go for it.
So, and these are the people that we are willing to interact with. These are the people that we're willing to enjoy our creativity with. And these are the people that say, you know what, you all deserve our attention because it is an utter pleasure, an utter pleasure. So yes, we do carry on with the gold package, especially as, you know, they come with their little package and say, Marie's prepared 3 different dossiers. So they will have the opportunity to dive in. We've put everything into one dossier so they can actually see and feel into it and research themselves, but we've given them some sort of direction, because to go through 1,600 coins could take you 3 lifetimes. So we've really done the work there as well. We explained to them what wallets are, how to use them, stable coins, business plan, really to just structure themselves on what is really important and cut out the crap, where we also wasted a bit of our time, but it was essential to see that. So I think our purpose here is to literally make, create the foundation, the starting point, and we're still learning as well as we go along. I mean, Marie doesn't stop a day. It just keeps her, invigorating and active. So we're constantly updating the information as well. So that's also something. It's not that we've created it and we said, oh, we're done. Your creator is never done.
And this is your passion. This is what you two are
It is.
passionate about. And I know that for sure because I've been around you. I know. That's why I wanted to interview you about this, because it animates it. It comes to life. I can feel it. And when you do see that the old doesn't need to be supported anymore, this is the technology that we have right now. And this is what's created out of the consciousness of the people. And we have everything. It's just a matter of learning what it is and how to use it and, feel into it, as you were saying. I started already to get what you were saying about how, a person has a different style. Yeah, I'm going to look into different kinds of coins, but I can see now, say I had a coin, right? Oh, Julie, she's a journalist and she interviews people and she has this platform where she supports people in their endeavors in the new world. They're like, yeah, I want to support that, or there's oh, I want to support this permaculture garden over here, because they are doing awesome soil growth analysis and all this. So you get wherever your attention goes, that's what you get to invest in. So and there's so many of us, there is no lack. I believe that 100%. There is no lack. There's just a perception of lack. We are God created, and we get to create. That's the power that he's given us. That's what yoga is. Yoga is waking up to that. That's it. Waking up to your awesomeness, to your pure God self, to your creator self.
It's important to see where our attention has been taken away. Now that if I were to have a token of Julie, the journalist, or the permaculture, can you see that how the celebrities, for example, have taken away so much of, you would be my celebrity because I've invested in you, I've bought your token, so the whole concept of being a celebrity goes away because every single one of us would have a potential of some value. Yeah. You see? So what are we actually saying is that your conscious awareness is valuable. It is your awareness that is valuable.
Yes. Your awareness is valuable, that you have woken up to yourself and you have value.
And now I'm shining it in your direction. So the amount of investors in your tokens are shining that conscious awareness onto you. And you are now growing. We are growing with you. And so we're going to start to see how it is so that we're all connected. Whereas in the old, and this is why it's beautiful in this moment in time, in this time in history, where we're seeing the blockchain is the bridge. Okay, blockchain isn't it's what we're going to be building on it. Probably next year will be called something else, but it's the bridge that the old, because we were giving so much attention to the celebrities, to the authorities, to the president, to the Pope, someone always bigger than us, they would take this conscious awareness, invigorate their energy and leave us depleted because we would be left with, I'm not as big as them, the unworthiness part. Whereas by seeing that everything is us, if I give the attention to you, you are creating something, we're all connected, there is no sort of celebrity, we are one big love frequency. So there's a different shift there as well. It is important to see how we've been deceived, not to blame or to make wrong, but it is important to see where we've been lied and where we've been hijacked, so then we can turn it around and say, but now I could use this Oh, I'm going to invest in Julie Journalist. I'm going to invest in permaculture. I'm going to invest in the farm. I'm going to invest in that technology. Oh, I'm going to invest in BAT, basic attention token. That's something that's already out there that you can decide what ad to watch. And when you watch it, you get the tokens of BAT. So the more BAT you have and the more demand, it grows in value. So now if you've got 250 bats worth $3 each, for example, I don't know, I'm just blurting out there. I don't even know how much bat is worth today. It's growing and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. So now when you watch an ad, Google gets paid because they managed to find a lead. So Facebook and Google are these major companies that are getting the energy that you placed your conscious awareness. You see, this is the deception. So at the end of the day, you think we're talking about blockchain, but what we're really talking about is the awareness of where value really comes from. And is that focus, that's you, that consciousness, that presence, that finally you don't have to go to work and spend 8 hours. You don't have to stand in line for 3 hours. You don't have to plead for 4 months to try and get a lawyer for this, or no, you don't have to phone and ask for a plumber because your fridge already knows what's wrong with it. It talks to the manufacturer already knows, oh, there's a problem with your fridge, and he sends over a technician. It's done. Time will be morphed in a different way with, the Internet of Things, IOTA. All of this already exists. And that's another thing, that everything already exists, and all these technologies that have been suppressed will be allowed to come online because they'll all be part of the blockchain. You go and have a cup of coffee, you can scan your cup, you know where that bean was grown, when it was grown, who put it in there. You know the temperature, the month, the date it was, that you know everything about that bean, you know under what conditions that coffee field was, and so on. So you can start to prefer, no, I'm not going to have that coffee, I'm going to have this one because there's different reasons why people drink different things, but you'll be able to choose. You have a liberty, the freedom of choice, because now you'll know all of the information. It's going to be simple and transparent. How many times have you been deceived? You've bought something, instead there was something else in it, or they've been manipulating and using children to do certain things, and but you've supported it unknowingly.
Yep.
Transparency. We're going to stop the manipulation. There's going to be transparency. There's going to be simplicity. There's going to be openness. Because all information is on the blockchain. Information is light. Light is information. It is the opening of it. Right now we're in the dark because they have been holding information away from us. We don't know what is happening now. They're making decisions in the White House about our situation. Like, what are we going to do about our health? The health pods are already there, but you can buy them in Canada for $1,000. It's a vibrational pod where you place your body and it scans you, and it equilibrates through vibration the disharmony in your body. It literally dissolves cancers in seconds. Why are they not out here? So there's so much that is being held. So lack of information, there is no transparency, there's the unknown, the unworthiness. I'm a victim. Oh, what can I do? So what can we do? Before you start a course, have a vision. I'm ready to have my mind blown. That's the attitude you need to come with. I'm ready to have my mind blown. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to be rattled and to see the deception. And once you can see the deception, now blockchain will start to make sense. Really? And now spend less time on Facebook and more time on the vision of, oh, I could do this. This could happen. Oh, this, and this, and this. Oh, I'm going to invest in IOTA. Oh, I'm going to invest in BAT because I can see that could be really adopted pretty easily. And this is how you start to create your portfolio, and you start to have the vision. But you must see the lie first.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point, that you must see the lie first. Yeah. Because otherwise yeah, it doesn't make as much sense, and it's harder. I think it's just harder. I mean, I've seen the lie for a long time. I happen to be staying right now. I have a friend staying here who wrote a book on the entire process of the lies of the United States government and just everything. And so, yeah, it's like getting that information out there with pictures and graphs. It's like visual. It's amazing. It's like, oh, it's just once you see it, I mean, you can know it, but then you see it, and you're like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. And then you're like, okay, bye-bye, but that's the beauty of the early adopters. And to be honest, of like this technology and then people seeing its value and then doing the work that you and Marie have been doing, because you are leading the way for the rest of us to be able to go, okay, you're like our big sisters, brothers and sisters, and like helping us as we are doing that with everybody in whatever, sect that we're passionate about. I'm passionate about getting information about out there. I'm passionate about people waking up to themselves. Like, and that's why I'm doing this summit, because I'm like, enough is enough. I got to get out there. I got to do something, and this is what I do. So it's exciting. I think we're in like the most amazing time as humans, like to see. I mean, I can see it. It's like, wow.
It's the one in a lifetime. It is one in a lifetime. It is one in a lifetime. You can literally feel it. I get all goosebumps. Like, I'm alive right now. Like there's nothing to compare it from, because it's a once in a lifetime. The moment, and there's so much depending on Earth, because once Earth shifts into that whole higher dimension where everything has crumbled, I mean, it literally shakes into the whole multiverse. There's so many other beings watching us right now, like really, really going like focused on us, because it is not going to just transform our little life on this little planet here. No, this is an amplification and expansion of all creation. I mean, I don't want to, but this is what excites me. I don't just hear, yes, it's going to benefit the whole world. Utopia is possible, and it's possible around the corner. But then I also think it from the other perspective, who are we going to be interacting with now that we're not going to be fearful, other higher, it just goes more and more and more. There's not a day that I get bored, because the ability to see beyond what we've been taught to see, this is just so much more exciting.
So much
you
more.
Don't have to think about your survival anymore. You've never had to do that. And we're going to start to see it. So I really hope that this information, what you're doing is amazing, Julie, that you find the people that want to share, you package it so beautifully and share it with everyone. As I said, information is light, and you are the light. Julie Upton is the light. And just by sharing that and shining it on, we don't have the time to do that, because this is our purpose. So interacting with you and passing you this information, here, it's like, this is valuable. Go and bring it to those that are ready to hear it. Go and open the minds of those that, and this is where the appreciation, we start to see how we can appreciate each and every single one of us. I'm going to appreciate that person that's got the permaculture farm with so much love and joy, and I'm going to put so much, because that is beautiful. And those people that create those paintings, I am going to invest in that. You're going to start to see. And I'm going to spend less time watching silly movies about celebrities that don't even exist. I'm going to spend less time with the trolls on Facebook. You make that decision. And this is when you start to see, this is valuable. I am valuable. And all of a sudden, that worthiness. So what you're doing is absolutely amazing, Julie. And I feel very, very honored that you've invited me onto this platform. So, and also on behalf of Marie, that I know she'd like to be here and say that to you. So that's what we'd like to say. We're very, very honored. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your wisdom and your joy and your visions and your energy. It's just infectious and it makes it fun and enjoyable to listen to. That's why I was like, yes, definitely having Raf on, because that's important to me. See, that's important to me, that I feel a certain way when I'm delivering information, and that was in alignment with me. And it's just perfect. And there was no effort. It was like, yes, of course. So I just hope everybody that sees this and hears this information, that they can feel the frequency and vibration, and they can take it and into their own visions and creativity. You know, that's all I wish for the world, that we're here, we're free, we're sovereign to be what we already are, you know, to be what we already are, which is free, sovereign, access to infinite abundance and anything the imagination can create.
We'll start to honor the creator in you that is in me,
Yes.
and to see that reflection in everyone else.
Perfect.
And that's what makes it sad when you look at someone that doesn't know that they're the creator. That's what makes it sad, because you're looking at them from the eyes of the creator and you're realizing that they're not seeing it. And the first impact is that you can see what they could be if they were just to realize the deception. Yeah. But then the sadness is that, oh no, okay. So that is the impulse to not just fall down at that evidence, is to, I'm going to hold it up. Okay, so I wake up in the morning, remember that that's your bouncing off place. And so it does help. And that's how we're actually going to hold that frequency. And that's why it's so important to hold that frequency, because every time you look around, there's something that can bog you down. Oh. So that is the effort. That's what sucks the energy out of, I mean, that is my fundamental observation every single morning. How many things are in my vicinity that could bog me down? Because that will make me stronger, for me to realize I'm on automatic pilot. So if you wake up in the morning and you look at your bank account and it bogs you down, okay, that's one of them. Wait, that's one of the lies I need to see. So anything that bogs you down, I get excited now. There's a lie here that I need to uninstall. What is it? You see? So, but if I'm on blockchain, I'm doing research, I don't have time to even see anything that can bog me down. And then as I'm in my passion, my energy rises. So I've gone from noticing things that bog me down to, I'm just going to stick with what's my passion. And I just notice every day it's just always, shining, and it's radiating and expanding and expanding. And I got tired at some point. But that's the decision you've got to make, that every day I'd, wake up and meditate, come out, and then something would bog me down. Oh, I gotta get back up. Oh, bog me down. And I would be bogged down like 150 times. And I just like, well, wait a minute. Wait. What excites me? Go straight there. And you're just like a beam. And that's how we created our course. That's how we interact with people. And I made sure that, that what was I doing just before this call? I was passionately doing my passion, because I wanted to bring all of me here with you, because you deserve all of that. I deserve all of that. Your viewers deserve all of that. You deserve all of your attention. And that is the basis of my message. And that is the purpose why I'm here. This is the purpose why you're here. There's no purpose to be on planet Earth so you can have 150,000 things bog you down on a daily basis. And this, my friends, is what blockchain can do. It can give you a vision where you will not get bogged down as often as this system is doing such a good job at.
Yes, and so it is.